All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to Card Talk. I'm Ryan, joined as always by Tyler and Lou. Big episode today. Nikola Jokic is an NBA champion. And a week ago, I asked Lou Janu if Ellie De La Cruz was going to be any good. Lou's response, I don't know. But the next day, he was called up, and he has been on a tear since. So we're going to get into Ellie. Triple logo mans have been hit. We'll talk about those. Tosin was in the U.S. ripping some cards. We'll get into that. We've got Q&A. We've got Play of the Week. We got a full jam-packed episode today. But first, the usual. We'll start with what's on your mind. Ty's locked in. You can already tell. If you're not watching, you should be watching.
He has a little bit of a shake going on. A little bit of a shimmy.
Ty's got that little shimmy going. He's locked in today. He's ready. And we'll start with Ty today.
Well, we've been chatting about it. The first thing is that is on my mind. You know, I've been trying to be a little bit more thoughtful about my fitness, about my nutrition of late. And yesterday, I kind of broke down and I ate an entire bag of Nerds clusters. And I swear on everything, I'm hungover. I have a sugar hangover. As someone that grew up eating more sugar than not sugar, I don't know. Maybe this is 32. Maybe this is what it looks like. Maybe I need to add a little extra hydration. But aside from that,
you just got to have a big bottle of water with you while you're having those, and you're fine. I'm a seasoned vet over here.
That's where I messed up.
Sounds like it's a lot like alcohol.
Yeah, right.
It's actually the same. It's all sugar.
But coming off the end of the club footy season, Champions League ended on Saturday. City with the historic treble, historic season for Manchester City. Pep came out. Is only going to be there for 2 years more, thankfully. Just been getting some of my different cards ready, gearing up. National season feels like it's underway in a real way. NBA Finals was kind of a snooze fest.
First two games were interesting.
They were.
And then we thought the Heat were going to have, we talked about it, like Heat were going to make it a series.
It was like interesting at Jace. It was like they wanted to say it was interesting, but it wasn't really interesting.
Yeah. And then
they still went on the road.
They did.
They did.
It was 1-1 headed to Miami, and people were like, the Heat are going to win this series. Like, the Heat got this.
My Christian Eriksen, gold laser.
That was greatest story.
Yeah. This is far better than the NBA Finals story. Manchester United should be hopefully selling sometime soon. Another golf major. Like, they just stacked these joints. Bow, 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 bow. We're 1 week out from that announcement with no additional information of whether the Saudis own golf or don't own golf. But the U.S. Open is being played in L.A. this weekend. I think it's the first time in 75 years. There's that one dude that chips with one hand that qualified. I don't know if you guys seen that.
I have seen that. What's up with that, dude?
I don't know what's up
with that, dude.
I think the course is going to eat his lunch. But I got some travel. I'll be in LA the back half of this week, shooting a little Page Eats Everything for 1:37 p.m. Popping through Austin today. Might try and drop into a sports card shop there. I have a ticket that's mint that I really want to get graded. I sat courtside center court, LeBron in the Garden. So I got to send this to PSA and get graded. Premium ticket.
I actually
feels like a 10, right?
I mean, it looks pretty gemmy to me. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, it's super gemmy. So that'll be the first time I grade a ticket. I got my Brunson that I cooked that one kid for. So yeah, I got a lot of money.
Yeah, you got cooked. You got cooked. You got suckered on that deal.
Sometimes you got to let someone win in the short term for you to win in the long term.
Yeah. You took out the best 5 cards. You paid the same price, and then you got a PSA 7 on the best card in the deal. I don't know who.
All right, don't be mean.
Who won that deal? But I'm not sure. Ty's
positive. I tried. I tried.
I mean, Ty said he cooked the kid. I mean, we just had to check him real quick.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, Lou, what's on your mind?
It was a very light week for me. The only thing on my mind is that everyone in this StreamYard owes me $13 or $16. Not Ryan. Ryan's the only one who doesn't.
I owe you.
I'm officially finished with this guy. I'll never think about Michael Porter Jr. again. He stinks.
He's so bad.
He had a huge first half last night.
Dude, he stinks. 8-9 is not a first half. That's solid. He stinks. They paid that dude $200+ million. He's terrible. He's not good.
Let me just go back to the original conversation.
He's not good.
He's a max contract player on a team that just won the chip.
That has nothing to do with him. They would have won it without him. Jamal Murray last season. Away. Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to get bogged down in the Michael Porter Jr. conversation, but I mostly just wanted to just laugh with us about the stupid finals bet that we made. It had potential, but it was an L. And
it was terrible.
It was so stupid, but it was so. I got so many. Did you get any texts? I got so many texts from people being like, "What are you doing?"
Yes,
he was burning money.
Yep.
But those are always the best bets. So I'm glad we did it. I think we should do that every year. We should do that in every championship. Pick like one random guy on every team and just hope for a random Finals MVP winner.
I agree.
And then
Jokic seemed like the lock of the century. I mean, hindsight's 2020, but
you would think,
man, well, he was probably he had to be minus.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was like minus 200 or something like that, probably.
Yeah,
but minus free money is free money, Ty.
I mean, the guy had 16 and 13 and 3 last night. Like, it's kind of a decent night.
Yeah. All right, so that's what's on my mind. I want to pass it back over to Ryan.
What's on my mind? Dude, kids gotta be expensive.
Oh,
I mean, start looking at like diapers and formula and like
it's getting real in the Johnston house. That's what they're talking about.
Oh my goodness. Reg and I were texting yesterday. She was like talking about formula, and like a couple ounces, man, is like $40. And I'm like, yeah, like more expensive than like blaster boxes.
Here's a question. Here's a question. How many ounces of formula does a baby drink?
I gotta learn. I have a lot to learn.
Are you reading any
starts out with
books?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It starts out with like 1 ounce, and then it goes up in time as like they eat more. But what I'm finding out is like if a kid has like colic, yeah, I think it's colic.
Yep.
Yeah, colic.
Just start screaming.
Yeah, you've gotta, and then there's things like you gotta change the formula if they don't like it. If they're like too gassy, like you gotta change formula, and then you can't use the other one, but you can return it for 90 days unopened. Like, oh my gosh, man! Like this is what it's got to be like learning the hobby in today's day and age with like how there's just so much going on. It's like I gotta learn some computer.
I gotta imagine there's some decent podcasts out there that you could tap.
There's gotta be. I gotta be listening to those instead, man. I gotta stop with the card content and start getting on kid content. Like I gotta figure some of this stuff out, man. These books, like they tell you some of this stuff, but man, it's what an adventure it's been so far. Just trying to understand, formula, and then there's like bottles and different size bottle nipples, and 80 different kinds of formula, and like beds and breathable mattresses and clothes, and oh my goodness, what a learning experience it has been so far. So yeah, trying to figure all that out, and Nationals getting close. It's just it's been an interesting couple of weeks. So
it's getting wild out there.
Yep. It is switch gears real quick, talk about it quickly, but this is it's a pretty underwhelming time in sports right now.
Oh, I disagree. This is like my favorite. This is one of my favorite times. It's all baseball.
But it's only baseball. It's only baseball. There's nothing else.
There's a major championship in golf this weekend.
Yeah, and the U.S. Open this weekend.
Yeah, I mean that's cool, but like I want like basketball, football, baseball, soccer, golf, hockey. Like I want it all. Like I want like November
last week.
October 1st. Give me October 1st weekend. Like again, we had it last week. But
it sounds like you're like on December 26th, like saying like how you wish it was Christmas.
Can't wait for Christmas.
Yeah, I mean Christmas and bowl season's pretty good, and you got the NBA. Like that's a pretty good time. Let's not lie.
No, I get it. I just mean like we literally are 4 days away from. We just had Super Bowl. We just had everything. You got to let it breathe a little bit.
Super Bowl was like 4 months ago.
Sorry, I meant Stanley Cup. We had Stanley Cup, NBA Finals. I think it's just the finals didn't do it.
Yeah, the finals was trash, and that really messed up everybody's vibes, I think.
The playoffs kind of once Bron took an exit stage left.
Yeah.
I mean, the Zion thing was like the #1 story in sports for 4 straight days.
It was Ja, then it was Zion.
The craziest thing about the Zion stuff was that it was the biggest story in sports, but none of like the major outlets were talking about it. It was wild to watch.
Yeah, 100%.
It was.
Speaking of wild to watch, the most electric team in baseball right now could reside 90 minutes from Grove City, Ohio. It could be the Cincinnati Reds. We have never talked about the Reds on this podcast in years.
That's true. We have not.
Ever. And they have one of the most electric players in baseball. They keep getting walk-off wins. I mean, the Reds right now, it's early, but, hopefully it doesn't get early late in Cincinnati because Elly De La Cruz is on a tear right now. Fast. And I told you guys earlier, it reminds me of O'Neal Cruz in straight size, just 6'5", just big human. Mm-hmm. But he's got the swagger of Ronald Acuna, just has it for sure. What a time, man. The Reds have not been this much fun to watch in a long, long time. Jay said, Joe Burrow is out there smashing dingers. I think he hit 4 straight home runs in batting practice, rocking a Reds uni.
Joey B?
Yeah, Joey B, man.
Guy's just an athlete. Imagine just putting on a baseball jersey and just stepping into a major league stadium and hitting home runs.
4 in a row.
That's insane.
Yeah. 4 in a row. Yeah, dingers. Guy's electric, man. He gets it. So
athletes are athletes, I guess.
Have you guys seen any Elly De La Cruz stuff? Have you guys paid attention? I'm just curious.
I have.
Lou, so you're the resident card talk baseball expert. What do you early initial thoughts
on him as a human?
Yeah, just the Reds, Elly, anything.
Exciting player for sure. The Reds, I think, lead the league and come from behind wins, which is a cool stat. That's a fun stat to have as a team. That means you're a team on the come up. They're obviously still probably like 2 years away from being real contenders, but that's a fun stat. They play in a bad division, so like you got that to hold your hat on. Really, it's the Pirates I think the Pirates are at first in the NL Central, which is crazy to think about that the Pirates and the Reds are on top of a division in Major League Baseball in 2023.
Considering it's normally not the Reds or the Pirates, it's normally Brewers, Cardinals, Cubs.
Yeah, it's flipped.
Yeah.
So I would say maybe the Reds should not overreact, play out the season.
Fair.
Be like do an Orioles, maybe trade one of your good guys away to get some more assets for next year. I think that's a good idea for the Reds.
Or spend more than, $100,000 on payroll.
Or that, but I don't know who their owner is, but if I had to imagine, he's probably not a guy who likes to spend money.
That's probably very true. I would imagine the Reds are bottom 5 or 6 in payroll in MLB.
I'm going to look that one up real quick while we're sitting here.
I tweeted about it, and it's probably end up going to come to fruition.
Oh my God.
What is it?
I mean, their highest paid player makes $2.2 million, so it's not high.
Yeah. I talked about it. I tweeted about it, and Lou, you responded. But a couple years from now, the Reds will end up trading Elly too. I said the Yankees. It could be Dodgers, Mets,
Astros.
I mean, pick a team, but Reds are going to probably trade him for $100 and like an AMC gift card.
Yeah,
it's not going to be good.
Soda in the clubhouse. Shout out Moneyball. Bless you.
No, I got something stuck in my throat.
Oh, okay. So I also think with the Reds, by the way, they are at 25th in the payroll rankings. They have a $93 million payroll. For a frame of reference, they are at 25th at $92 million. The Oakland A's are in last at $59 million. They are a joke.
I heard the A's were going to do something like reverse boycott.
The fans, yeah.
Fill the stands to show that they're not the problem.
They could do that. They're going to all show up and watch a loss most likely, but they're free to do that if they want.
Still on pace to be one of the worst teams all time?
I believe so. I mean, they won right after that happened. When it really was looking bad, they won a few games in a row. So it might be a little bit better right now, but they're still gonna lose 115 games, 120 games.
I will say this has always been the most frustrating thing about baseball is why I can't get behind it. It's just not an even playing field. There's no salary cap. So the big market teams can spend hundreds of millions of dollars. The small market teams can't. Yeah,
I don't buy into that at all. Every owner has a good $1 trillion. They are free to spend money as they want.
Yeah.
Well, but they also have different prerogatives.
And it doesn't make it
certainly.
an even playing field. All the NFL owners have billions of dollars. They could spend whatever they wanted, but there's a salary cap. So it's at least fair between the teams. Just like
there's a salary cap in baseball too. It's just a soft cap.
AKA no cap.
I don't think that's right. I don't think you guys are right about that.
I mean, they said when Garrett Cole signed with the Yankees, the Yankees spent more money on Garrett Cole than the Pirates spent in free agency in the last 30 years combined.
But whose fault is that? That's the Pirates owner's fault.
But if you can go over the cap, there's really no cap. You can exceed it. Well, there's no real rule.
But if you choose to spend 1/5 of what other teams spend, that's on you.
But if you could only spend X amount of dollars and you couldn't go over that, it would allow everybody to compete at the same market, right?
Yeah, I guess I'm saying you're saying the people who don't spend money are at a disadvantage. They're not at a disadvantage. They just don't spend any money.
Yeah,
I guess whatever.
There's probably both sides to the equation here.
100%.
If every team could only spend $100 million, the A's clearly aren't still at $100 million. They could be spending more. So yeah, it's an interesting debate, but to me, it still seems like the big teams are going to be the ones that win. It's going to be your big market teams. It's not going to be. I mean, Indians, Guardians now went back a few years ago against the Cubs, so that was cool to see. But
I mean, the league average is 161 million, and the A's are spending 60 million.
Yeah, I mean, the Reds are only at 93. That's almost half of the league average.
So, yeah. 6
so
and 1, half dozen on the other.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah, aligned. All right, couple big polls in the last week or so. It's actually been kind of crazy. The two biggest logo men have been hit in flawless. Jokic, Giannis, Embiid. So last 3 MVP winners. They won the last 5 combined. That got hit by Bleacher Hits. And then the triple, the Steph, Luka, LeBron, the biggest hit in the card or in the product this year, was hit by Mojo out in California. Good guys. Like them. They've been breakers for a while. They break a lot. Good people. They hit that monster card last Friday night. So that was pretty cool. Another really cool one was actually really cool to see. DC Sports 87. They're big consigners on eBay, some of the biggest in the hobby. He was, I think the story said he was out with his daughter and picked up a blaster of select soccer and hit a 1-of-1 game used jersey auto in a blaster box. An incredible hit, young collector, young female collector. Great to see. The picture, she looked absolutely stoked to hit that card. I would be too. That's an incredible card, especially out of a blaster. So really some really big hits in the hobby in the last, 7 days or so since we've recorded Card Talk.
It's pretty cool that the Messi 101's in a retail box. That's I feel like we should talk more about that.
I think we should talk about Messi in general.
Sure. Inter Miami, right?
Correct.
So is he getting ownership of the team?
He's not getting ownership of Inter Miami, as I understand it.
Wasn't deals with Adidas and a couple other ones?
So Apple got the rights for MLS.
Yeah.
So MLS is Apple TV. I believe he's cut in on some subscriptions, probably bumping subscriptions, which I imagine has gone banana land. I think he is getting a cut of all jersey sales for the MLS via Adidas. I think all the teams agreed in some capacity. I think that's what I heard.
Space.
And then he's got a clause probably post-career where he gets right of first refusal on some action around teams.
That makes sense.
They gained an insane amount of followers on social, putting them up there with some of the biggest franchises in the world, at least U.S. sport-based. Tickets went bananas, sold out everywhere. The impact that he is going to have on the sport in America, I think, is drastic. Again, leading up to the 2026 World Cup, massive amount of marketing, close to his Argentinian home, down in Miami. There's just a lot of, I think, good energy around that move. I also thought it was funny, kind of MLS swooped in as Saudis were focused on golf in a crazy week and lost the bid for Messi. But that being said, there are a ton of players going to play in Saudi as of late. Ronaldo obviously led the charge there, but all of these guys are now going over and signing deals.
Didn't Benzema get some crazy money?
Yep.
But didn't they offer Messi like $1.2 billion or something like that?
Yeah, it was 3 years, $1.6 billion.
But real quick, like Lou, Lou kind of like rolled his eye. Like he was like shocked when he said that, all of the MLS teams were like, hey, we'll give you a piece. If that is true, like a piece of the MLS jerseys. And I think about it as like, I couldn't think of, outside of like Mbappe, I couldn't think of a bigger star outside. Mbappe's up there. It would be a debate, but I couldn't think of a bigger person to come to the US for the MLS. Like what it will do for those teams' ticket sales, merch sales, streaming, all of those things. I mean, you're talking about one of the biggest names in the world, not just like athletes, one of the most recognizable human beings on earth.
Yeah.
Like
so for context, LeBron has 155 million followers on Instagram. How many do you think Messi has?
800 million.
I was gonna say like 350, but I think that's even too
475.
High. 475, yeah.
Who's got the most?
He's up there.
I think it's
a couple people got over 500,000.
Isn't it like Selena Gomez or something? We looked this up once.
I think it's Selena.
We looked this up. It's like Selena Gomez or
nope, it's Instagram. And then it's
other than Instagram.
Cristiano, Messi.
Ronaldo is bigger.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Cristiano is 589.
I guess my question is this. Number one, Ra, are you like locking into Inter Miami games?
No, it won't, sure.
Because like I'm definitely gonna check a couple out for sure because it's like a spectacle and you have to see it.
In person, or are you talking?
I mean, if they come up here, I would absolutely try to go. It's going to be ridiculous, right? The prices are going to be insane.
Yeah, sold out everywhere.
Yeah. I'd be curious. I would love to know what Apple's subscription numbers have done. For U.S. customers, I would like to know what that is.
Lou, let's talk through this. I don't think it will definitely help in the short term. There will definitely be people subscribe in the short term. But I think I would assume the play here is that as Messi's here, as the pandemonium happens, as he stays and ticket numbers grow, I think it's immediate at first, like it jumps immediately. But then I think it's a slow and steady growth leading up to the World Cup in 2026 in the US. And that's where I really think it's a slow growth until there. Obviously the big boom in the beginning, but his pandemonium is just going to continue to increase it day by day in the U.S. And then you're going to have the World Cup here. And it's interesting. It's not something that will be on the top of my radar for sure. It's not going to be above football. It's not going to be above F1. Like those are things I just enjoy more. But I do think it will slowly grow up until the World Cup. And I think the World Cup will tell us a lot about, soccer in the U.S.
Yeah, and I also
cards do numbers. Sorry, go low.
No, I want you to go, Ty. You're more educated on this than me.
No, I'm just looking at Messi cards. That the matchups 2014 World Cup Messi Ronaldo like shared card where it's like cut down the middle. Mm-hmm. I mean the PSA 9 is doing almost $700 on auction.
What's the pop on that card?
I don't know, but
the thing I was gonna say was so do you remember when Zlatan went to LAFC or whatever it was, or the Galaxy? Mm-hmm. I feel like that was a big thing too. Definitely not on the same level, but I feel like everyone was saying the same thing at that time as well. And then it ended up being like he was just in LA and it was funny, but no one ultimately paid attention.
Yeah, I just think that the difference between those two is insane.
Yeah, I would agree.
Like in a real.
I believe you. I'm just I'm interested to follow it.
I mean, did you see the celebration when Argentina won the World Cup?
I did.
Any of those photos?
In Argentina, I did.
Yeah. He's like Jesus.
Okay. Yeah, in Argentina, I kind of agree with Lou's point that like soccer is not the most popular sport in the US. This is going to take something. Messi's a big name for sure globally. He will do numbers in the US. But I'm not sure we can compare Argentina soccer and what that means to them to what it would do to MLS soccer in the US. And,
it's going to be scenes in Miami. I'll say that.
Sure.
I'm extremely
Yes.
Ty, do you want to go to a game in Miami? That'd be fun.
I think I definitely do.
I think it'll be scenes any place he goes. Miami for sure, but Messi goes to Austin or Cincinnati or New York. Like he goes anywhere. Like it's gonna be crazy.
I also feel like it's kind of disappointing that it's on Apple TV. Just want to say that too.
There's 30 PSA 10s, 322 PSA 9s, 99 PSA 8s. Total pop 460.
That's low
of that matchup that matchups card. And then if you get into some of the color parallels, that card can get.
You know what this will do though? It does add a lot of intrigue to MLS Topps products.
Indeed.
Yes.
That have not been relatively strong. I mean, there's some upcoming US guys in there. There have been in the past, Aronson, few others.
Yep.
I think Tyler Adams has been in there. Like it's got a couple guys, but to put Messi in a Topps MLS product, that adds real immediate demand to an MLS product.
Do you think he signs an autograph deal with a certain company that's been signing a lot of athletes to exclusive deals? Would make sense.
Play. Would be a big enough name.
Certainly.
So
they should do one
contract with PSG expires on June 30th
of this year,
and then he's free to join Inter Miami.
They should do one autograph. He should sign one autograph next year, and it should be in some kind of Topps product. That would be the craziest chase ever.
You know what's going to be very interesting is Messi. Assuming we'll assume. Just hear me out. Messi will be in the U.S. shortly after that expires. Correct?
Yes.
The next day, I would think.
Soccer season starts when?
Soccer. It's happening. We're in the middle of the MLS season.
October, November.
What for the cup?
No, like what MLS soccer be going on in those months?
Let's see. The finals is in November 25th to December 3rd.
I think a certain Card Talk member. I think a certain Card Talk member has a wedding somewhere down in the Florida region in the late months of the year.
Okay.
But here's the thing: Miami's in dead last.
Yeah,
so what does that mean?
I mean, they got.
But that wouldn't stop us from going.
That's why they had to make a big signing. They needed to turn.
Let's talk about that for a second. Imagine if the A's signed Ohtani.
Yeah. I mean, heck of an effort.
Yeah.
So silly.
All right.
It's good. I'm excited.
It should be fun.
Have Messi on this soil.
Real quick, I haven't done a lot of research on it. I've seen just headlines, so I don't want to, I'm not going to be the one to give breaking news here. But I did see this weekend there was some stuff going on with Disney Lorcana, Upper Deck. Sounds like some very interesting stuff there. Ty, Lou, have either of you read into that at all? Speak much to it?
Yeah.
It sounds like it could have some effects on if it gets made at all.
Yeah. From my reading, the general number one assertion is it's stolen IP. The person who was working on Lorcana had access, according to Upper Deck, allegedly had access to confidential information and intellectual property that Upper Deck was creating, that person then took and used to create Lorcana. I don't really know what to make of all of it. To me, it seems like Upper Deck is trying to salvage something. Whether or not they have legs to stand on, I have no idea. I'm not a lawyer, but
the thing that I saw was that game rules and gameplay is not trademark or patentable, and they're still going after them. So it's if they use the same names or jargon. So I don't really know. I believe in industry, a lot of these people that are game developers work on a bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
yeah, he was contracted out to work for Upper Deck and then contracted out to work for the people who made Lorcana.
Yeah. So I guess if some of the chatter that I read was they must think they have a leg to stand on of literally verbatim using certain terminology and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed. All right, let's get into some questions. I know we've got a few of them this week. Again, if you guys ever want to ask questions, Jay and Court typically put up some stuff early in the week, Sunday, Monday range, and say, hey, if you guys have questions, ask away. So if you want to be on the show, easy way to do that. Just follow us on IG and submit them there. Here's a good one. This is from card_collector1116. If you could create your dream card, what would it be? Example, a triple logo man of your favorite players. It would be an autograph booklet, game used patch auto of the Heisman Trophy winners from Ohio State.
That's a good one. I have a question for you about Ohio State later on. I would choose a dual patch, game used World Series jersey autograph with Jordan and Altuve.
That sounds, these sound like
Bangers.
2 for 2 so far. I would love to find somebody that can mock these up and can make these and see what these would actually look like. There's got to be somebody out there that creates custom cards. I would love to understand what it costs to have a mock-up done, because I would be like over the moon on something like that. Because one of the cards, like somebody asked me one time before, and somebody actually drew it up for me, but one of them was like a passing the torch auto of like Braxton Miller and JT Barrett, 2 of my favorite all-time Ohio State guys.
Passing the torch, Ty.
Mine would be, I don't know. Like, actually, I think I know.
I think I know too.
I don't think you're good. This one is kind of left field, and just because of some recent developments. I think I would probably want a triple game worn patches, Djokovic, Nadal, Federer.
What a cool card.
Yeah, it's a cool card.
Triple patch auto.
What about like some lesson plan used Harry Potter?
Yeah. Then I was like playing around. I was like, okay, famous like Danish athletes, like the dude that's won the Tour de France the last couple of times.
Tour de France.
Michael Eriksson. This young kid, Holger Rune's a nice tennis player.
Yeah, like that sounds real up your alley. Like a Daniel Radcliffe, Christian Eriksen, Tour de France winner, and like what's the who's the all-time Penn State coach?
Joe Paterno.
Like a quad auto, those 4 dudes. Yeah. That sounds like
the reality though is like the card kind of exists. It's like the Harry, Ron, Hermione triple auto. He's like,
yeah, that's a big card. That's the number 1 on my want list.
And it's out there.
Yeah, sure.
Just need to like have something super weird happen in my life where I come across the funds where I can spend that. So I don't know if anyone's got any good ideas of things to invent and then sell. Shoot them my way so I can get that card.
All right. What other
maybe AI will do it for me or something.
What other questions?
Let's see. There's some good ones here.
Which wide receivers? So this is P-Bird cards. This is a good one, actually, talking about football season because we're in a little bit of a lull right now. Which wide receivers drafted this year have more upside? JSN, Mingo Johnston. Who's Mingo Johnston? That's 2 people, isn't it?
I don't know who Mingo is. Quentin Johnston is the wide receiver that the Chargers took. The big kid from TCU.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I don't know if Mingo's his name. They went 4 in a row. So I don't know what Mingo is. I don't know if that's his name. It's Jackson, Quentin Johnston, Zay Flowers, and Jordan Addison. Addison plays for the Vikings. Zay Flowers is a Raven. Quentin Johnston's a Charger. And
who the hell? I don't know. I think it was a typo. It's supposed to be Quentin Johnston. Zay Flowers and Jordan Addison. I think the answer is JSN, but I do also really like Jordan Addison this year.
I would agree with both of those. I think a lot of them are in positions to succeed. The Ravens need a speedster. They've got that in Zay Flowers. Quentin Johnston's a big target for Justin Herbert. Like Herbert's got the arm. That's a big playmaker there. Addison taking, Justin Jefferson's going to get the best guy on the team. He's the best receiver in football. And JSN with Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf going to get a little slot opportunity there. Geno looked good last year. Yeah. I think it's Jackson. I'm a homer in this for sure. You guys wouldn't expect anything less here, but JSN was the best receiver on the field with Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, when he was healthy. He's the real deal. And he didn't play a lot last year, and I get that. So, again, big if he's healthy, the Seahawks got a deal on him. He's the real deal.
I would also say a sneaky one is Jalen Hyatt.
In New York?
Yeah. He's going to be open a lot.
Yeah, our guy Mike Kafka, man. We'll see what he can do.
Yeah.
I like, as much as I hate to say it, Ohio State just produces receivers.
Printing wide receivers these days. It's crazy.
Truly.
Yep.
Just a side note, those 2024-2025 college football schedules for the Big Ten came out.
Mm-hmm. No Ohio State, Penn State.
Nope.
That's wild.
We didn't
There's
lock
1 year.
in.
There's 1 year.
Yeah, for both Penn State and Michigan. I think it's Ohio State in 24, Michigan in 25.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds 100% right.
Yeah.
While we're here,
go.
You finish, and then I want to ask Ryan a quick question.
Oh, God.
USC and UCLA are coming into town.
Yep.
Starting this year?
Next year.
Yeah, next year, 2024.
Yep.
2024 is when the Big Ten, Pac-12, those couple teams are coming in, and that's when the college football playoff expands.
Mm-hmm. 24, right?
Yeah, 24, and that's when this is the last normal year. That's when Ohio State gets rid of they add some of those teams. They don't have divisions. Like a lot of things will change in 2024. It will be a completely different landscape in college football with the expanded college football playoff, NIL, conferences, mega conferences. It's going to be a very different. This is like the last.
What's NIL?
Yeah, that's
Here's a quick quote for Ryan. We'd love to get some live reaction from you here. Ohio State Gene Smith, AD Gene Smith said this. It's so funny. Everybody's so focused on just one game. We were basically 1 point away from being back in the national championship, and I think we had. I think had we got those 2 points we needed to convert and ultimately played TCU, I feel confident we would have performed well and won a national championship. I'm not so sure about all this chatter. Ryan, what are your thoughts on Gene Smith not caring about beating Michigan?
Well, that's ludicrous. That's the number one thing that matters every year is beating Michigan. I'd rather beat Michigan than win a national title. So
everybody's focused on one game.
Yeah, I'm focused on one game. Beating Michigan is all that matters.
Here's the crux of the quote.
Right. In two scenarios. Okay.
Oh. Wait, let me get the crux of the quote out because it's really funny. Okay. I haven't really talked specifically about Michigan. We have a lot of other games before we get to them. So right now you're focused on developing your roster and developing your team. The team up north game won't matter a whole lot if we go over and not do what we're supposed to do against Indiana in week 1. So we've got to take care of business there.
I mean, he's not wrong. Like that's a focus on the game at hand. But yeah, if you know how I feel about this, I'm very open that beating Michigan is what matters. The goals, beating Michigan, winning the Big Ten, winning a national title. Those things matter.
Mm-hmm.
You would rather take a season where you beat Michigan and lose in the college football semis than lose to Michigan and win a natty chip?
Yes. Yeah.
That's crazy to me. So essentially Michigan is the national championship every year?
You, in the most respectful way possible, you don't have rivals, so you don't understand it quite the same way.
No, it's not. No.
Yeah, 100%. I've told you guys this before. Like, I'm not all about go Big Ten, go Michigan. I want it to be good. I want them to lose every game.
What about go Ohio State? I want to win the national championship.
Yeah, I want to win the national championship. I just want to beat Michigan to do so.
That'd be like me being like, so we beat the Yankees. Season's good to go.
Season's good.
Winning a national championship and then being like,
Thank you, Jay.
That's different in the NFL because
why? Yeah. You're literally saying that you don't care to win national championships. You care to beat one team. That's small-minded thoughts.
You're not good enough to beat Michigan. You don't deserve to win the national title.
We just told you could win the national title or beat Michigan. You chose to beat Michigan.
Yeah, I don't feel like we're good enough, but we can't beat that scrub team.
Fair enough. Well, not a scrub team because they keep beating you.
You know what? That goes to show about a lot about Ohio State as a program and their fans more than I ever thought. You know, that is
great.
A very good.
They got their wide receivers
and
their cool quarterbacks.
Yeah, we're great. We beat Penn State. That's what matters. It's great.
Put people in pros and
Ty. Here's what matters: beating Penn State.
Well, that's just a nice check mark each year.
That's crazy. It
is. We just have big goals, and that starts with beating Michigan.
it's incredibly rare that any champions in any sport go undefeated.
Yeah. We could lose Indiana.
I'm just saying, you're saying that you set out to win a regular season game more than win a national championship. That is going to lead to the demise of a program one day or another.
I don't feel like we are good enough to win a national title if you can't beat Michigan. I feel
why? Sure. What if they're good too? What if you lose a game?
Yeah, I mean, it almost happened this year. Like, I don't disagree with Gene Smith. It should have. But yeah, I mean, Ohio State is. Well, you have to beat Michigan. That's where it starts. That is the most important game of the year. I'm just telling you. It's like I grew up in Columbus. I live, breathe, and die Ohio State. Like everything Ohio State. Beating Michigan is the game that matters. You circle that first, then everything else comes after that.
We are not denying that is the case for you and all the Ohioans.
Yeah.
We are saying that is indicative of something larger.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
Yeah. Starts there. Season starts there.
Maybe that's why their quarterbacks don't really do anything.
Well, don't speak now, Ty. I'm sure your big run of Kerry Collins and all, Christian Hackenberg and the squeal. We remember. I'm sure there's a big list of Penn State quarterbacks that are.
They don't get drafted. They don't get drafted and pan out to be nothing. Mbappe news. Does he follow Messi to MLS?
There it is.
Mbappe to USA. No shot. Pokemon trainer Connor. I respect it, but that's not going to happen. Mbappe is probably going to end up at Real Madrid, and I really am not happy about that because I'd rather see him play in England because it's closer to here and they're on TV more. But he'll probably end up in Madrid by the end of this summer.
Anybody else going to be in Madrid with him?
Jude Bellingham just signed over there. Yeah, Vinicius Jr. I mean, it's a major, massive, arguably one of the biggest clubs in the world. That's where they've always talked. He's always talked about playing, etc. Here's a good one. Most underappreciated all-time great in the hobby.
It's a good question.
Duncan's
a really good one. That's definitely one of the top
Tim
answers.
Duncan?
For sure. That's definitely one of the top answers. That was the first person that actually came to mind for me. I think, and again, I'm biased in this because I've definitely bought his stuff over the years. I started this years ago, but to me, it's Manning. Peyton Manning. Yeah, Peyton. Outshadowed so much by Brady, won 2 Super Bowls, 2 different teams, all-time guy in pass yards, touchdowns, a lot of things. To me, it's Manning. Personality off the field, life after football, brand there. So to me, it's Peyton. Tim Duncan is very much in the conversation.
Who's some underappreciated soccer players?
Who sells better, Jokic or Tim Duncan?
I would imagine
That's
right now.
Question. It's got to be Jokic.
I would imagine right now Jokic is
because Jokic is 2 times should be triple back-to-back MVP.
Yep.
Big ball.
Finals MVP, finals win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with you 100%, Ty.
I think there's certain greats that are underappreciated. Like, I don't know. From me, when I'm like vintage and old, those things are still, even certain things that are appreciated aren't appreciated by the masses as much as they should. Like, you have a good Jim Brown collection.
Yeah,
RIP. Like, there's a world where he's still incredibly underappreciated.
Agreed. I've been buying Jim Brown stuff for years just because I grew up hearing about him, and 2.5 hours south of Cleveland. So yeah, I definitely think he's a good one.
Mike Vick.
Lou, would you say Derek Jeter's underappreciated?
No, he's the most overappreciated, I would say.
No, he's kind of fallen off.
All right, let's we're gonna
wait. I want to give you alien stuff. Do you guys know this TV interview got like wiped off the internet?
Like the one with the aliens in Vegas?
No, that one was. I think that's fake. But
the news one,
the guy who went on like News Nation or whatever, keeps getting like deleted off YouTube.
What do you think that is, Lou? Why do you think that is?
I don't think anything. I'm just pointing out something that's going on. I have no opinions. I've never had an opinion in my life. I just like to point out facts.
That would be an awesome conversation for another day. All right, let's we'll have to get back to play of the week here, running into some internet trouble. So I think we're going to push play of the week back, but we do have a big release week this week. So I think we should wrap this week up here with latest launch. One of the best football products is coming out this week, Select Football. First off the line, already dropped last week. You have Upper Deck Ice Hockey. You have Revolution WWE, which we've talked about before in the show when they announced Kabooms will be in Revolution WWE. I think that could be fun. Leaf Trinity Basketball, a 3-2 baseball with Panini. I don't know if you guys caught this. I think this is something that definitely slipped under the radar. I don't know if most people know about this. Panini's still making baseball. You guys know that. Obviously, 3-2 comes out this week. Panini does not have access to the MLB PA license, which means their current products do not have active players. They have rookies, pre-MLB, and they have veterans, Hall of Fame retired players. Their current stuff does not have Mike Trout, Ohtani, Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge. It doesn't have modern players. I found this out when I was looking into 3-2 baseball first off the line, which dropped last week, post-select, and notice when you read the title of the boxes, it talks about not having active players. Now, I don't know if that means they get Ellie pre-call-up. I would assume it does. But let me see if I can talk about it. Yeah, so like if you read the product highlights on Blowout for 3-2 baseball, you get one slabbed autograph and one slabbed memorabilia card in every box. Look for a variety of soon-to-be stars and former greats across multiple autograph sets, including Day 1 autographs and Hall of Fame signatures. Find prime and legendary memorabilia across 5 sets from numerous top 100 prospects and greats of the game. Talks about a few other things about on the horizon, sluggers and more. So yeah, it doesn't look like Panini has access. Well, it is. They don't have access to the modern guys because no MLB PA license. Topps has that. Their contract expired. So they still have baseball products, but it is more based on the upcoming rookies that are not in the MLB yet, at least at the time, and then Hall of Fame guys.
Maybe I'm wrong. There can't be a lot of long-term interest in that set.
Interesting. I mean, it's an interesting question. I mean,
seems like they're running it this year and then probably never again.
I don't know. I mean, unlicensed stuff's, Leaf.
Yeah, but if there's no current players and it's only former players and guys who are in the minors.
Yeah, but if you get like upcoming, again, I'm just for devil's advocate here, Dominguez, Ellie.
Is Dominguez signing for that?
He's in Donruss. I don't know if he has autos, but I know his cards are in Donruss.
I'll take it back. I'll hold judgment.
So it's clearly not Bowman first. I'm not here to argue that it's that. It's just there's a different place in the hobby at a cheaper price perspective without logos. I mean, Leafs built a big company around it and has a lot of different products. So it's interesting. We'll see what happens. I mean, the market will decide. That's the thing is, regardless of what we think, the market will tell you how they like it.
How do you guys like cards with no logos?
Doesn't do it for me at all.
See, I've told you guys this before, like I have some like Ohio State 101 patch autos from Leaf Trinity with logos on it. And like Ohio State, you don't get the Ohio State spot right on the top of the jersey. You don't get helmet stickers, but for the most part, it doesn't look that much different. So as a college collector, I don't mind the Leaf stuff. I think
you're used to it. That's why.
Yeah. And it's also, it's a lot cheaper. Like I posted about it the other day, like this card, I got a Trevor Lawrence card from like Leaf in the Game Used or something. It's like a Trevor Lawrence ticket stub card with a signature on it. I'm like, this is a cool card. And let's just call a spade a spade. If this was in like a mid-end Panini product, that's what I said, like gold standard or absolute, and there was a Trevor Lawrence ticket stub auto from an important Trevor Lawrence game with a signature on it, numbered to 10, 25, 50, that card would definitely have demand. Regardless of what anybody says, that card definitely has demand. You throw in other guys with tickets in there, modern players with ticket stub autographs, like that's a cool thing. That's a cool feature. They used to have it back in like 2007 Topps TX. There were like Brady Super Bowl ticket. There was like Brady Super Bowl ticket autos. A bunch of the Patriots had them and the Eagles had them. Steelers had a couple guys in the set. Like it was cool. Like Panthers, a lot of those previous Super Bowls from those years. I think it would be cool, but it doesn't sell because it's not as big because it doesn't have licensing. So I don't mind it as much, but like Lou said, I've seen it for 17 years. So it's not like the end all be all for me.
it does absolutely nothing for me.
It's
I
crazy,
don't know,
right,
like,
Ty?
yeah, I think
It makes me
I
not
just know
want it.
myself. Yeah, like I just it. But the thing is, I guess some autos maybe a little bit different, and it's funny you mentioned like Ohio State because that's your collector side. I feel.
Yep. 100%.
Whereas as like a and you can collect Ohio State so heavily, but if there was another player that maybe wasn't Ohio State, would you still want to collect them? I don't know. There's something about the logos and brands that I love, even down to teams. I had a conversation this morning. Like I'm a different type of fan. Like even at the highest level of my Penn State interest, like I can like certain other teams and other people are like, why would you do that? And that I think comes down to sometimes logos and branding and all that. So it's really hard for me to get into non-licensed products.
What if there was like an Aaron Maben patch auto,
and it wasn't like didn't have Penn State on it? I
Yeah.
would be like,
but it was in like blue and white.
It wouldn't do it for me. Where'd you pull Aaron Maben from? Yeah.
He's like one of the only Penn State players I know off the top of my head, because when he came to the Jets, there was a story about the Penn State thing, and then he was like an artist.
He was an artist. I remember
that. Yeah. So Aaron
good.
Maben's my guy.
Yeah, he was nice for like half a year too. For the
Mayhem,
Jets.
yes, Mayhem. He was just a third down rusher, just came in and get sacks. It was awesome. All right, I have to go though. I love you guys.
I love you too.
You guys finish strong. Peace.
That would be a fun episode to do one day. Like the old. That's one of my favorites. Is like naming old college legends.
Yeah.
As someone that's collected cards for so long, like, where did this guy go to college? That's a fun game. But like,
yeah, it is.
I think of like, as much as I hate Penn State, one thing Penn State's really good at, he comes to mind when he says Maben, is like Penn State linebackers, like the Sean Lee, Navarro Bowman days. Like, I'm like, man, Penn State's got Puzzlesny. There you go. That's a heck of a one.
Started with LeVar. Yeah. And then Micah Parsons, and they have this kid right now that is unreal. I keep seeing a lot of like film on like Twitter and like clips on is your boy Drew Aller. Yeah, I know. He just did.
A lot of people talking about him being the number one pick in 2025.
Yeah, it's supposed to be. Expectations are. There's something about sports that like the Nuggets. I really enjoyed winning a chip. Because I feel like 3 years ago, they were like really building, and you could see with Jamal and then the ACL, and like it feels like they deserved.
That's what I thought about that's what I thought about the Bengals.
About the Bengals, yeah, like just like it was happening right, and it never got like if they don't win, like they suck, like that pressure. And Drew Aller's kind of getting Penn State there, whereas like the McSorley, that's why I said that game against Ohio State really messed me up, because like I felt like that was the year where it was like the things were in place and we weren't like the expectations weren't there, number one team, but like we were up 10 and then lost, and it was like like that was the moment. Now it feels like if we don't make the playoff, like this kid isn't like what he was, and it's like it's a little bit of an uncomfortable position because we never have a star quarterback, and he's kind of being billed as it.
Yeah, I mean, you had Christian Hackenberg, who was the number one recruit in the country one year, like
totally. But it was those were a little bit different times. We didn't have scholarships. Like he had 1 year, and then immediately he was starting to crash and burn.
Yeah, so you lose Christian Hackenberg. This is a fun timeline, right? Like obviously not as fun for you, but like you lose Christian Hackenberg, you lose scholarships. He stays committed. You get McSorley. You've got Barkley, like you're building momentum there, and then you have back-to-back years with 10-point losses to Ohio State, leading by 10 in the final 7 minutes or less, to lose both of those games with talented teams, probably some of the more talented teams you've had in recent memory in Penn State. To lose both of those games, you're just like, can we ever get over the hump? And then it's like, well, then Ryan Day comes in, and then Ohio State's got real Justin Fields, CJ Stroud, Dwayne Haskins, and you're like, it's hard to beat those teams.
Totally.
And then it's like, finally, you can see this light at the end of the tunnel. Ohio State doesn't have a quarterback. Michigan's the favorite in the Big Ten right now with all the talent there. Like, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, like I'm more used to being 14-point underdogs and like it being a game in the fourth and then maybe losing to like, wait, are we going to be 4-point favorites in a weird way and like get blown out by 25? Like that, I don't want.
Ohio State, Penn State, Halloween weekend in Columbus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, I gotta run.
Love you.
See you guys.
Hanging.
Appreciate y'all
Bye, everybody.
listening.
See you.